name is Mykaela and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be going through contouring and highlighting. This is one of my favorite topics with makeup because I do love a good contour and highlight routine. So I really hope that you guys find this video useful, and if you want to see what my contour and highlight routine is and how I got this makeup, then please keep watching. First thing, I just want to apologize in advance for my voice. I have been sick the past few days, so I know it doesn't sound like my normal voice, so apologies for that. I do still have like a little bit of a sore throat. Talking contouring and highlighting, I know that it can be quite scary to a lot of people because I feel like a lot of contour and highlight videos are quite scary and people use 1,000,001 products to do it, and you draw all these lines all over your face and then you're blending it all out for ages. So my routine is definitely not like that. I feel as though my routine is quite user-friendly, I guess you could say. I don't know, I guess you guys can be the judge of that after this video, but I pretty much only use 2 cream products. So it's not a whole bunch of products. I use the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, so it conceals and highlights all in the one product. It's a slightly lighter shade than my skin tone. And then I use this product here, which is the MAC Studio Fix Perfecting Stick in the shade NC50. So this is a concealer as well, but it's a lot lighter in coverage and it's quite a velvety finish as well, so it melts really nicely into the skin. So that's pretty much my only cream products. And then I obviously use your standard like powder and bronzing products, which we will go through after. So we're going to start with the concealer first. So the concealer shade that I'm going to use today is the light medium, and I'm just going to pop like that. And I pretty much just blend that out first before applying anything anywhere else. I'm using a Morphe Beauty Blender to blend this in. What I really like about this Beauty Blender, it has the pointed tip on it, but it also has the 2 like flat edges as well. And you'll just see how much that is highlighted. So it is obviously a slightly lighter color than my skin tone, but it's not too light. It's still like a really nice highlighted color. And once we've got contour and everything else on, it'll obviously like start looking a little bit more even. Now the rule of thumb to keep with highlighting and contouring, I forgot to mention this before, is highlighting are the areas of your face that you want to draw more attention to. You want to appear more open and awake and bright. And then contouring is areas of the face that you want to shade. So you want to take away the focus from those areas. You want them to appear smaller, more defined and more sculpted. So if you remember that typical rule of thumb, then you pretty much can't go wrong with contouring, and highlighting. You know the areas of your face that you want to draw attention to, you know the areas and the features that you like and you want to highlight more, and then you know the areas of your face that you don't want to draw as much attention to. So if you keep that sort of rule of thumb, you really can't go wrong with contouring and highlighting. Typically the rule of thumb is that you would draw more attention to the center of your face, and then you would take away the focus from, the outer edges of your face. That's to create the illusion of like a really sculpted and like oval face shape. I guess traditionally with makeup, an oval face shape was the ideal face shape, but I don't really believe in that anymore. I guess from what you're taught in makeup school, I feel like things have way changed since then. So I really feel like makeup, you should be enhancing your natural features, enhancing your natural face shape, because every face shape is beautiful. And I think that when you're applying makeup, you should be enhancing what the features that you like on your face, not necessarily only highlighting the areas that make your face look more oval, if that makes sense. Anyway, let me blend in this concealer before it like completely dries up. Alright, the next thing that I'm doing is just dragging my Beauty Blender and like the remaining product on it just onto the top of my lip and my chin area. Moving on to the cream contour. Now, Even though this is a stick product, I'm not gonna go and draw all these lines all over my face and blend it out. I probably could do that because this is an extremely creamy and velvety finishing product and it does blend very easily. But what I have found with most cream contouring products, they are quite thick in consistency, and when you do draw these lines all over your face, you usually have to work quite hard to blend it all out, and a lot of the time, because it's so thick, you're actually applying a lot more product than what you actually need. And so to avoid doing that, not just with this product but with all cream contouring products, I definitely recommend applying the product to a brush first, or like onto your hand, and then dipping a brush into it and applying it that way. That way you can start with a really minimal amount of product and you can build as you need more, rather than going in with too much too soon and then having to like work very hard to blend it all out. So what I'm going to do is I'm using this brush here. This is the 170 foundation brush from MAC. So I pretty much just take the brush to the tip of the product, just like this. I blend the product onto the brush just like that, and then I pretty much start applying it directly to my cheeks. And I pretty much apply it in like a dabbing motion, and as I'm doing that, I'm buffing the product onto my hand, like the remaining product, and then going back in and blending it out. Now where I've applied this product, you'll see is pretty much at the top of my ear is where I've applied this. And I'm not really bringing it down too far. I'm sort of keeping most of the product back towards the ear, and I will slowly blend it down. So I'm just pressing it into the skin in like very light but quick buffing motions. And I'm also bringing it up onto the temples as well. Again, just pressing it onto my hand every now and again. And if you feel like you bring it too far down or you're not sure, just go over with your beauty blender again one more time and just really make sure that it's all like melted in. And then for the forehead, I'm just gonna pretty much apply exactly the same as I did on the cheeks. Pretty much just right at the top, like right by the hairline. And then just meeting the product with the temples. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with how that's looking. So now I'm going to switch to a slightly smaller brush, and I'm going to again take a small amount of this product to the brush. Just again dip it onto my hand and put it underneath my lip. Now what this is going to do is it's going to create a shadow underneath the bottom of my lip, which creates the illusion of slightly fuller lips. Moving on to nose contour. Now with nose contouring, this is definitely a must for me. I just got used to doing it, and so now I can't do my makeup without doing it. I guess the rule of nose contouring is to make your nose appear smaller. So something to keep in mind with nose contouring is the closer you do your two lines on the side of your nose, the smaller your nose is going to appear. I start right at the top of the nose, almost at the brows, and do like short feathering strokes, and just start feathering that product just down the side. Almost creating like a shadow at the side of the nose. And then I just sort of bring mine just up like that. And I'll just do the other side. Alright, and that is pretty much it for the cream contouring products. So that's really it. It's pretty simple. Now we're going to move on to the powder products. So the first thing that I like to do is set under my eyes using translucent powder. So I'm going to use the Huda Beauty translucent powder in the shade Pound Cake. I'm going to take my beauty blender, the same one that I've been using, and just dip into a tiny bit of that product, and I'm just going to set immediately underneath the eyes. Now what I'm going to do is set the rest of my skin. So I'm going to use the Studio Fix powder, and this is in the shade NC35. So I'm going to use this to set the rest of my skin. but I am gonna miss the areas where I've applied the cream contouring product, and that's because we're gonna go over it with like different products now. Moving on to the bronzing products. So I'm using nothing new here. These two products have been in my videos pretty much every single video. So to bronze, I'm using the MAC Gold Deposit mineralized skin finish. This one here is like almost empty. I'm literally scraping the pan right now, but it is a really pretty like shimmery bronzy shade, and that's why I really like using it, because I am somebody that has more oily skin type, or I'm more prone to getting an oily skin. So I do prefer to create, you know, a dewy effect on my skin using powder products as opposed to cream products. So that's why I like using a bronzer that does have a little bit of a sheen to it. So I'm pretty much applying this in all the areas that I applied the cream contouring product, on my cheeks and around my forehead. Now for my contouring product, I'm using the Matte Bronze Bronzing Powder from MAC. This is honestly my favorite contouring product that I have found in a powder form. It is not too cool tone, but not too warm tone. It's the perfect in between. I really don't like when contouring products are too like gray toned. I feel like they just look ashy, or at least on my skin they look really ashy, and when I've tried to use them in the past on clients, it's had the same effect. So I've never had an issue using this contouring product. So I'm just taking this on a small brush from MAC. This is the 109, and I'm just going to dip it into the pan and pretty much just create a shadow like right underneath where the bronzer is. So again, at the top part of my ear is where I'm wanting this to start, and I'm pretty much keeping most of the product right at the top here, and then sort of like slowly fading it down. But it's really just like the tiniest amount of product. Like that's pretty much all I would apply. And then I just bring it slightly up onto the temples. And then that's pretty much it. It's like really so simple. You really do not need a lot of contour. Especially I feel as though like when you apply a bronzer first, it really makes applying contour so easy. So now we are moving on to a little bit of blush. So for blush, I'm using the Gingerly Blush by MAC. This one here is a really nice neutral toned. It's not specifically like pink or peachy, it's a really nice in between. So I'm taking it on this Morphe brush here. It's just a really like loose, fluffy brush, and just putting a tiny bit onto my cheeks. The last step is to apply a highlighter. So I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills and Amrezy highlighter. This is like my favorite because I love a gold tone highlighter. So this is like the final step to like highlighting the areas of your face that you want to draw more attention to. So I put it on the top of my lip, tip of my nose, and then on the highlight, like on my cheekbones, the highest points of your cheek. Alright guys, that sums it up for today's video. I hoped you all enjoyed and you didn't think that I was rambling on too much about information that you already know. So I do hope that you picked up some tips from this video and you enjoyed seeing my contour and highlight routine. Please comment down below and let me know what types of videos you want me to film next, because I'm definitely open to ideas, and as I've said before, I really want to be filming videos that you guys are interested in and that you want to see. So until my next video, I will see you guys later. Bye!